Today, 23-year-old Nikolas Cruz pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder in the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland in 2018. The pleas come with no conditions, and prosecutors still plan on seeking the death penalty.
During the hearing, family members of the victims in the courtroom wept as they moved one step closer to getting justice for their loved ones. But today's guilty plea does spare the families from enduring what would have likely been a lengthy trial and been forced to relive every detail of that mass shooting. Tonight we have live team coverage, a reaction as families of the victims heard those guilty pleas.
We begin with our co-anchor Felicia Rodriguez live outside the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale with where the case goes from here. Felicia?
Tiffany and Todd, Nikolas Cruz, the man who of course terrorized Marjory Stoneman Douglas in February 14th, 2018, pleaded guilty to all counts today. Victim by victim, the judge read the names of the dead and the wounded. Cruz replied guilty after each charge. In all, 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder. Cruz was also asked a long list of questions to assess his mental competency. Officials say Cruz returned to Marjory Stoneman Douglas over a year after being expelled, armed with an AR-15 rifle, and shot 14 students and 3 staff members. 17 other people were also injured. After pleading guilty today, Cruz made a statement in which he apologized to the victims and their families. He asked them to allow him to live, despite it being clarified by the judge that it wasn't their decision.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others.
Now, the attempted murder charges each carry a minimum of 20 to 25 years in prison. Nikolas Cruz faces either the death penalty or life in prison, which of course will be decided by a jury. Those jurors are expected to be selected during the penalty phase sometime in January. For some families and survivors of this mass shooting, today was really the first time that they came face to face with this confessed killer. Many, as you saw earlier today, were emotionally visible by today's proceedings. Our Angela Rozier spoke with some of those family members today. She has more. She's joining me here in Broward County. Angela?
As you said, Felicia, those family members seen in the Broward County Courthouse today clinging to each other, wiping away tears as they listened to and stared at the man who took their loved ones away from them forever. And Felicia, I know there was a plea, but they still want justice.
We need to go.
Parkland massacre survivor Anthony Borges walked inside the Broward County Courthouse Wednesday morning with his father, an attorney, by his side. The 18-year-old was there to hear and see for himself accused killer Nikolas Cruz plead guilty to the murders. Both he and his father admit being there wasn't easy.
It's really hard for us to be here, but I think it's part of the healing.
Gina Rose Montalto was one of the 17 killed that day. Her parents were also inside the courtroom to hear the plea.
Well, it was a very difficult day. We've had to relive the murder of our beautiful and forever 14-year-old daughter, Gina.
Her father, Tony Montalto, admits being in the same room with the man who killed his daughter was painful.
It was probably the most uncomfortable thing, well, second most uncomfortable thing we've ever had to do. First one would be hugging our daughter's lifeless body.
Nikolas Cruz entered his guilty pleas in a packed Broward County courtroom. Afterwards, he read a statement aloud in court, apologizing for his actions. But for the parents of the victims, his words were hollow.
That was useless. To me, they're going to try to use any words he used today in his defense to not get the death penalty.
Irrelevant, and we're just one step closer to justice. Thanks all. I got to go see my daughter.
And one family member was asked today in the courtroom about moving on. His answer, and I quote, "There's no moving on, just moving around the pain you feel every day." Coming up at 5:30, we'll hear from one father who made it his mission to try and stop crimes like these from happening again. Felicia?
Angela, thank you. And tonight we're hearing from more victims' family members. Meadow Pollock was a senior at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. She was preparing to graduate when she was killed. My co-anchor Tiffany Kenny spoke to her brother earlier today. Tiffany?
Felicia, that's right. Meadow, she was a senior at Marjory Stoneman Douglas when she was killed. And today I spoke with her brother, Hunter Pollock. Meadow was 18 years old, just months away from graduating, when she was shot 6 times that day. She was found in an alcove, huddled with another young girl on the 3rd floor. They had been locked out of a classroom. Her brother, who is now an FSU law student, told me he does not accept anything that Cruz said in court today.
All I could think about is him apologizing and trying to get empathy from the families and saying it was up to us to make the decision on his fate. Well, in my eyes, his apology is not accepted, and the pain he's caused our families is irrevocable. And I just can't fathom that any family would accept his apology. I don't see them seeing them have any remorse for this monster.
Hunter says the most difficult part of the day was hearing prosecutors lay out what unfolded that day, but it also reminds him, he told me, that how brave his sister was when her body was found. She was found shielding another student. And Felicia, that certainly was so difficult, not just for Hunter, but for all the families to hear those details again of what happened on that campus February 14th of 2018.
Yeah, that recount today by the prosecutor in court, very hard to listen to again, Tiffany. Thank you. Well, the families of the Parkland school shooting victims recently reached a settlement earlier this week with the Broward County School District. According to one of their attorneys, $25 million is set to be split between the families of people who were killed, injured, or traumatized in the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. The largest payments will go to the 17 families whose loved ones were killed. Now, since the shooting happened in 2018, we have been following the lives of those students who survived and are now working to bring about change, not just here in South Florida, but all across the country. 5 of the survivors helped organize the massive March for Our Lives rallies that took place in Washington, D.C. and all across the country, you may recall. They appeared on the cover of Time magazine just 1 month after the shooting. They have not let the shooting stop them from pursuing their dreams or their passions. Jacqueline Corin and David Hogg attend Harvard now. Alex Wynn goes to Penn State. Emma Gonzalez, who now goes by X, is a student at New College of Florida. And Cameron Caskey attends Columbia. To this day, all of them continue to speak out against gun violence. We're going to hear more from these students about how their lives have forever changed coming up at 6 o'clock. Now, the judge agreed today that the families of the victims killed and injured in this mass tragedy will be allowed to speak during the penalty phase of this trial. Given the high-profile nature of this case, the judge is also planning to screen hundreds, if not thousands, of prospective jurors during the month of January. The goal is to start testimony sometime in January.